The Carolina Panthers have done everything right this offseason. They've helped Bryce Young, filled some holes on defense, which had a lot, and overall made the future of this team look better than it did before the offseason began. So what is the outlook of the Carolina Panthers this season and moving forward? Well, let's dive right in. I want to start briefly with the defensive free agent moves that they made this offseason. They added edge Pat Jones from Minnesota, safety Trayvon Moehrig from the Raiders, defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton from the Chiefs, defensive tackle Bobby Brown from the Rams. Look, none of these guys are stars, but they can fill a role. Pat Jones can help this pass rush, which ranked 27th in pass rush win rate as a team, so even adding a guy who can just help someone on the edge will be very impactful for this team. Moehrig is a solid run stopping and tackling safety, not the best in coverage, but a decent player nonetheless. The two defensive tackles, Wharton and Brown, play two completely different roles. Wharton is more of a pass rushing defensive tackle, finishing 22nd among defensive tackles with 42 pressures, whereas Bobby Brown was a 24th ranked run defender in terms of PFF grade at 67.6. For Wharton, I want to look at what he did in his 3 playoff games. 4th ranked defensive tackle in the playoffs with a PFF grade of 77.0, 9 pressures, and 5 stops. He added a lot of value to his name for how helpful he was next to Chris Jones on the Chiefs' deep playoff run. Behind Derek Brown in the depth chart, these two add some great value on the defensive line. Look at this play that's on the screen and see how far back everyone is getting pushed. It's insane. But let's not forget about Derek Brown. Just 2 seasons ago in 2023, he had 103 tackles as a defensive tackle. That is insane. While adding 41 pressures, 53 stops, is one of, if not the best, run-stuffing defensive tackles in the NFL, which is important because this team was worst in the NFL in terms of stopping the run in 2024. So getting Derek Brown back with the other 2 defensive tackle free agency additions will be massive towards fixing it. When Brown was fully healthy, the Panthers ranked 23rd in rushing yards allowed, compared to 32nd in 2024. While 23rd is not great, they allowed 1,000 less yards than they did the next season when Derek was injured. Now guys, before we continue, I want to tell you about Underdog. Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. I know the NFL is not on right now, but for the NBA, they have a great promo called the Extender. With the Extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start a playoff series by using your Game 1 boost, and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boost. You're going to want to see how big that boost gets when that Game 7 hits. Hop on Underdog. It's the best place to make picks during playoff basketball, and get started right now when you sign up with code Fanatics. With code Fanatics, you get a deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus credit and a free pick. And guys, this extender promo has worked very well for me. Trust me, sign up with code Fanatics and you can win some serious cash. However, it is not just these additions that have helped bolster this defense. In the draft, they added edge Nic Scourton from Texas A&M at pick 51. Scourton is debatably the most impactful selection of this draft. For a team that ranked 27th in pass rush win rate and 29th in sacks, Scourton is the type of guy you need to add to this roster. He had a pass rush win rate of 17.0 and 36 pressures on 316 pass rushing snaps in 2024. But that was at Texas A&M, which notoriously plays a defense that is not great for pass rushers statistically. For Purdue the year prior, he was much better. 21% pass rush win rate, 42 pressures on 263 pass rushing snaps. So basically he did much better in different system, different weight, and on less snaps at Purdue. He has an arsenal of moves that is amazing. Clubs, spins, swim moves, and is overall just a powerful rusher. He will be a day 1 starter as this team's #1 pass rusher starting this year and will produce immediately. There's no doubt in my mind they got an exceptional edge rusher at pick 51. He's also a solid run defender that won't be lost on the edge trying to set that edge and break blocks from tight ends or tackles. Overall, a great pick. Just 26 picks later at 77th overall in round 3, they took another edge rusher, Princeley Umanmielen from Ole Miss. Princeley is another great prospect they got at a good value. He had better numbers than Scourton did in 2024, having a pass rushing win rate of 22.8% and 48 pressures on 261 pass rushing snaps. I think he can also start day 1 as well. He's great bend off the edge, great counter moves if his first move does not work, good burst, and is technically sound as an edge rusher. He can defend against the run well, as he did not miss 1 tackle on run plays last season, and a PFF run grade of 80.7. Another value pick for Carolina. These 2 picks were definitely the most impactful selections of the 2025 NFL Draft. Adding 2 players at huge positions of need at great value is the best way to help give your franchise some momentum heading to the next season and beyond. Defending against the run and pass rush were the 2 worst parts of their defense last year. While they were missing Derek Brown, who did help that issue, adding these guys along the veterans they got in free agency is a good first step into rebuilding this front 7. Having Scourton, Umanmielen, Pat Jones, and DJ Wharton is a solid rotational group to have off the edge. And the 3 defensive tackles on the inside, this defensive line actually looks quite impressive now compared to where the Panthers were just last year. On the line as well, they drafted 6'6", 340-pound nose tackle Cam Jackson from Florida at pick 140. Just another example of them trying to bolster the run defense alongside pick 122. Safety Lathan Ransom from OSU. He could potentially be a day one starter as well, opposite of Trayvon Moehrig, but he plays a similar role, a better run defender and tackler than coverage guy. While defense was priority 1A, priority 1B was helping Bryce Young and making sure he can grow as a young quarterback. Young had a weird year last season, starting the first 2 games and getting benched, only to come back and play great. Those first 2 games were bad. 3 turnovers and 2 blowout losses. He needed to be benched to clear his mind. But when he came back in week 8, he showed everyone why he was taken number 1 overall in 2023. 7th best PFF passing grade at 83.7. 2nd best big time throw percentage at 7.7%. 2.3 turnover worthy play percentage. 15 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. 5 rushing touchdowns and 2 fumbles lost in 10 games. He looked more confident, poised in the pocket, and was able to make plays on his own too. In that time, he went 4-6, which may not sound good, but the Panthers were bad, as we all know. They kept it a 3-point game with the Kansas City Chiefs, lost to Tampa by 3 in overtime, and lost to the Super Bowl champion Eagles by 6, and this is all in a 3-week stretch. Playing competitive football against 3 playoff teams, 1 being division game, and 2 who made the Super Bowl is not something to scoff at. It was clear that Bryce Young needed more weapons. Adam Thielen is old. It really reminds me of Al Horford, minus the playoff success, and I will not get into why because I can't explain it. Xavier Legette was a rookie who could not hold on to the ball, and Jalen Coker was okay, but great for an undrafted free agent rookie. So what did they do? Well, they signed Rico Dowdle at running back this offseason, who had a good year for Dallas once he was given the reins. Brought Hunter Renfrow back to the league, thank God. Oh, drafted Tetairoa McMillan 8th overall, while also drafting running back Trevor Etienne to be their running back 3, and Jimmy Horn Jr., an insanely undervalued wide receiver in this draft. McMillan was the best pure receiver in this class, meaning disregard Travis Hunter for a minute. He's 6'4", ran a 4.48 40, was insanely productive at Arizona, as in just 3 seasons he had 3,423 yards, 26 touchdowns on 213 receptions. Bryce Young needed this type of guy. Receiver with a long frame that'll help in 50-50 balls, decent route runner for someone that big, is friendly to the quarterback in zone coverage, and good ball skills. Every receiver has some weaknesses, of course, such as not being able to create a ton of separation at times for Tet, but overall he's a great receiving prospect. He reminds me of division rival Drake London, and I think he'll have a similar start to his career. He is a strong hands catcher, which is very important for a receiver. I love this pick for Bryce Young's development, and it's great that they get time to develop together. To show how important this pick is, let's look at some stats. Bryce Young had the most dropped air yards on target throws at 210 yards. He had a 60% catchable pass rate on throws of 20 plus or more yards, which was 10th out of 33 quarterbacks. 11% of those deep targets were dropped, 2nd worst in the NFL, and the receivers finished last in separation. So yes, Tetairoa was a great pick for the Panthers. Etienne and Horner will be nice depth pieces on this roster. Raheem Blackshear was never an RB3, and I think Trevor's going to be a great piece to add in. Horn Jr. was a guy that I think was undervalued. Do I think he'll be a star? No. But do I think he could be a solid wide receiver in the NFL? Yes. To start his rookie year, he would likely be wide receiver 5 behind Jalen Coker on the depth chart, a solid slot receiver that can produce if needed. Carolina has the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL in a poor division, as they were the 4th place team and they get a 4th place schedule. I don't think there's a path to the playoffs for this time, but with their over-under for wins being set at 6.5, I think they can get past that and win 7 or 8 games, if the defensive additions they add work out, and if Bryce Young can develop with Tetairoa. For the rookies, they don't have to be elite players right away. This is a rebuilding team we are talking about again, but they have to have some type of impact to show this team has a great outlook for the future, that the NFC South could be theirs very soon.